this week's broadcast of the Esports Tower Rumble in Overwatch. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena, and tonight we'll be wrapping up our Week 6 Rumble for Group A and Group B Grand Finals, both in Overwatch 2. Who's going to come out on top this week when we close out the beta for the Esports Tower Rumble overall? Well, we'll have to wait and see. I'm your host, Artie Nerdy Bird Rain, and joining me on desk is Jacob Palmer. All right, so I begged for it last week. I really was begging for it.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to see push? And if we do you think it's going to be exciting, or do you think it's going to be interesting, to say the least?
Well, I have to say, first of all, it's going to be a best-of-5 match for the Grand Finals instead of the best-of-3. So there's a lot greater chance mathematically here. And we were talking, the only way that it couldn't be guaranteed to see is if they set it up control, hybrid, escort. But if you're going to the point of playing in the Overwatch 2 beta and you're not setting up push to be showcased, then what's really the point there, I would say. So I would love to see if we think push. I think it's such a better mode than 2CP was. I think it's quicker, faster. It can have some really exciting moments. I really want to see it too.
All right, so both of us on desk are begging to see it. If we see it, I'm hoping for a long, drawn-out match on whatever payload map we end up on. And if you missed last week, I can give you a quick recap, at least, of which teams we saw. That was the Cyclones, the Wolves, and the Tsunamis coming out for Group A. And for Group B, we had the Landslides, the Riptides, the Everest, and the Tornadoes rounding out Group B. So we're going to see the Grand Championships for both of these two groups. Very interested to see how this shakes out. I also know for a fact that the Wolves have new players rolling into the roster, so we'll see if that shakes things up too much for them or if it works out in their favor. And do you have any tips for these players as they go into their last stages here for, the Overwatch 2 beta?
Well, I could be talking for months on end trying to give whatever tips I think are good, but I think if we're looking for tips, we have to turn to a true expert, and that's our doc.
Yes, so we will give these final keys of advice to these players in the forms of Doc's Keys to the Game, presented today by Esports Tower, scored pro advice at esportstower.com. And those keys are in particular for Overwatch are never take a fair fight, which means take fights in unexpected places when they are unprepared and keep your tank alive. Improve your game sense and improve your team play, improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up. All right, so our first game is actually going to be between two of our weather forces here. That's going to be the Team Tornadoes going against Team Riptides. Very excited to see how this one shakes out to kick off our entire night. I hope it's a long, drawn-out fight. Goes 99-99 every single time, because that's what we hope for on desk. But ultimately, who's going to win out? Is it going to be the Tornadoes, or is it going to be the Riptides? I wish both of these teams the best of luck.
And one thing I wanted to touch on is really that last Doc's Key, the game of keep your tank alive. That just really speaks to the larger reality of how different 5v5 is. You don't have as many team fights, as many times to fully reset as a team. The fights can be a lot scrappier or a lot more quickly decided depending on how it plays out. The supports have to play more to the geometry of the map because they're not going to have that off tank that can always, help protect them. There's just so much that's different with 5v5.
Yes, and most definitely, if you're a support player, watch those flank angles and make sure you are telling your team when you're rotating to be avoiding those. And as I mentioned, this is our kickoff game, and actually for this, the Riptides are making their first ever appearance in the Grand Finals. Can they take down the Tornadoes? We'll have to wait and see. Best of luck to both of you teams.
And here we go, starting off with some very dramatic mood lighting. We can see Lyric for the Tornadoes. Coaches have said he's helped transition to Overwatch 2 very quickly. So that's always nice, but apparently some people need a little bit longer to transition to the game as we start off with a pause right off the bat. So.
And this is Oasis, and we're starting out on University. Of course, we do, as tradition, begin every single one of our Overwatch games on a control point, also known as King of the Hill or Koth, if you're looking for a short way to say it. Be very interesting to see how this shakes out. Typically, you don't want to fight in that tiny little room where we see that mini pack. We call that playing tiny Overwatch, so I hope none of these teams try to fight for control in there.
Although you would know that it's technically not a true King of the Hill map, because a true King of the Hill mode would have one control point that stays that way for a little while, and then everyone would move to another one as it pops up for those of you who would play anything like Paladins. That's truly what King of the Hill is. This is just one control point. But the thing I'm looking out most forward to is the Soldier. Oh, wow, Joe right off the edge. this Doomfist already making a huge statement. He's got a triple right off the bat.
I've mentioned it before, Doomfist can be quite broken if you are not prepared to go into it, and the Tornadoes look like they have not even decided to try and maintain just staying on point. They're going to push forward, make some staggering here. We do have one person, I believe that is our Doomfist. Yes, Binomial is going to be capping that point, leaving their front line a little weak, but that does guarantee their survival for a little bit. Now it is up to the Riptides to push back. Let's see what they can do as Doomfist engages.
Yeah, Doomfist was already kind of a polarizing hero. Some people hate to go up against him, and then they decided, hey, let's just make him a tank and give him even more health here.
The new kit is very interesting, especially with that charge punch. If you take enough damage, it becomes very deadly and can be a one-hit, one-kill. Taking down Moira, though, is going to be the Ana.
Already trying to get some more environmentals, but it looks like right now they're a little bit more cognizant of where they need to stand. Unfortunately, the damage is just huge from Binomial. They're going to do another charge right in that Lucio, take Toasty out. Now Genji is next on the list, quickly hits Deflect to get out alive, but the point still stays in control for Tornadoes.
And if you're thinking back to the way Overwatch 1 used to work, one of the huge counters that you could play into a Doomfist is either a Torbjorn or a Pharah, but now Pharah is a bit more difficult to pull off considering the lack of that secondary tank. Having a Mercy just dedicated to you can leave your only single tank very, very delicate for anyone to take out. So that Pharmacy comp, not something we'll likely see, but instead we're going to see the Bastion from Smellusion that immediately goes down to our Genji.
Well, one thing I'm going to be very interested to see is necessarily we actually have Lyric almost to, oh, we see there bringing out the ultimate Lyric. The railgun on that soldier actually doesn't have it. That was just a normal railgun shot. But really, ever since the buff to that accuracy for the railgun, some of these sojourns can be absolutely terrifying to go up against. So should this ultimate be used, I'd be very careful, as Master B already uses the Genji Blade. Is just going to be tearing right into the Bastion, and Lucio gets 4. Joe has to retreat.
And notice that we didn't even pop that nano from It's Kaiba, because now Genji Blade doesn't really need that nano unless you're looking to get a full 5k. It's deadly enough as is. We have Lyric finally popping that railgun ultimate as that Winston comes in, getting anti. They do have Primal though. They may want to wait for that anti to be expunged.
Not really able to get anyone with it. Has to retreat to try to heal up, and Joe in hot pursuit is able to keep the point over, take the point over toward the Riptides. Now they have a long hold ahead of them as Smell has swapped over to Sombra.
We've got Mango making sure that they are staying out of any line of fire here to just sustain themselves for a little bit, pushing back the Tornadoes, but we have It's Kaiba yet again finding another kill for themselves on JR there. Ana 2.0 kit is heavily focused on making sure you can keep your own self alive, because Ana 2.0 is quite the deadly support hero in comparison to what they used to be on Overwatch 1. Binomial, though, our new tank coming out for the Tornadoes, looks like they will go down to that Winston Tesla cannon.
Now it's going to use the Primal Fury, go up to plus 1,000 health, already take out that Ana. Now going to put the pressure on Lyric. Lyric falls. Now it's only Binomial, who's way back toward his spawn. That's another good hold for the Riptides.
Smellusion chilling on at 30% on that EMP charge. Sombra's kit change is a little bit of an irksome experience to deal with. They can hack while in invis now as opposed to being forced to come out of it, and whomever they hack takes more damage from Sombra. So it's just a constant amplification onto that ultimate charge for any Sombra player. However, if people turn and focus you can still say sweet goodbye to your existence during that fight.
Now we're going to see the point being contested here as Tornadoes make their way towards it. Joe immediately gets hit with that hack, is going to take some damage from that Sombra, but recovers. Kiva's the one lowest on health right now, is able to heal up. There goes the Genji Blade brought out by Tornadoes. He is stopped though by Joe in a hero play, and the Sound Barrier going down can help keep the Riptides alive. Meteor Strike now brought out by Binomial. Not going to get anyone, though, as Riptides are still staying alive. Now Tornadoes are going to try to keep on the point with the Sound Barrier. That has just worn out, and Binomial finally breaks through the fray with a triple. And that could be the deciding factor for the Tornadoes.
Mango, Joe, and Frozen for the Riptides actually been really the team players trying to get this team focused up in order to, you know, be a force to reckon with here on the beta for their own team. So both sides have people that have made it so everyone's focused and prepared for these matches, explaining why we had a 99-99 on our first map here. But as we jump into the second one, we'll see if that tune changes, because sometimes people's mentals get tilted after going 99-99 so fast on a point. We can see that Winston play here again, taking out Binomial, and they will pick up an additional one here, I believe. Yes, they're gonna. This is the Primal Rage moment that we saw a poor Ana get completely eviscerated.
We see a little bit of celebratory dancing also there.
Yes, Binomial, you do your little dance.
I mean, there's no better feeling of when you're just taking everyone out as a Doomfist, whether in his original DPS role or now in his new tank role.
Doomfist is still broken. Tell me if you think I'm wrong, but I highly doubt you'll disagree. And the standard high ground rotation's happening, but Smelusion comes out of that invis immediately after doing that hack. Might not have been the best idea, but they got another one and finally used that translocator to get out alive. Manfusy is trying to find an opportunity to take out this Winston. Winston jumps in, but their backline is forced to use a lot of cooldowns to keep up with them.
Now Tornadoes look like they're going to be the ones to take the point first, almost, but a trade back and forth with Mango is going to keep it 4v4 as Binomial gets hacked. JR is going to be the next one eliminated thanks to this Pharah working without the pocket here, the Mercy pocket, so still doing a great job.
Yeah, especially because the side of the Riptides has not decided to make an adjustment over to any form of hit scan to try and take care of Lyric. They're going to have just the time of their lives now. I mean, yeah, I mentioned it earlier, it's a lot more difficult without a pharmacy, but if the swaps aren't made, you don't need to worry about it in all honesty. That's just playing your angles and making sure you get healing when you need to, and that means getting out of fights if you're too low, or, you know, admitting to your team, hey, I'm going to be sacrificing myself here.
Just going to continue peppering damage on to the Riptides. You're trying to make a long rotation around here. Gonna head inside, able to lure Binomial in there and take him out. Masfi also gets hacked and is quickly mowed down by Joe too. Riptides now have an advantage here. Joe's gonna head up here, trying to get even bigger advantage. Not able to take out, you were saying how much more deadly the Ana can be.
Anas in higher rankings were already a force to reckon with in Overwatch 1, and now they're just very scary. Jumping into one when you're sub 200 health is just not a good idea. They will take you down. You gotta have respect for support players in this game because they are a driving force for your success in fights. Those Winston barriers, though, quite irksome. If your whole team doesn't look at them, they just don't go down unless they have completely just run out on time.
Okay, talking about having everything you need, all ultimates are going to be available for the Tornadoes, and Riptides not far away from theirs as well. Their heads the barrage is quickly going to take out Mango as Primal Rage is used in response by Joe, making their way onto the point. There goes the sound barrier, giving them some extra survivability. Smasfy takes out Toasty. Speculates still staying on the point. Smasfy heading in, is able to take out the Sombra, and that is a point hold for the Tornadoes yet again.
We are heading into one fight territory here, and it looks like the Tornadoes are well aware of that, pushing forward, making space, trying to get a little bit extra ult charge. They did expel only 2, so they've got 3 to respond to whatever comes forward. Hopefully they're prepared, though, for that EMP from Smelusion, because that Lucio already used their sound barrier. So that means you gotta find her and take her out and not let her get a value. But there it is, EMPing, I believe, 4, if not all 5 members. Coalescence does come out because that EMP blast does not do as long of a hack as it used to. It just means you're a little bit squishier for a little bit of time.
Yep, you need that damage follow-up more than other. I was also gonna say that even though they had just used it, Lyric was getting so much damage on that Pharah that they were already more than halfway to a full charge there, so quite a force.
Getting greedy can be very helpful in this game, but it also can get yourself staggered if you're not careful about it. However, that did not come forward as a problem for the Tornadoes, so congratulations, you guys have won out on our first map. But as we mentioned earlier, it's still a best of 5 and can go either way.
This was the top play by Masfi. Also helps, you know, it's nice that Bastion can move around while he is in his turret form, but he's still got that huge geometry that's very easy to hit.
Yeah, I mean, I like the new Bastion, especially when he goes into tank formation.
Sure.
It's disgusting, but you're also you're squishy. You have a lot of health. You have a large health pool, but you're big, as you just mentioned.
You don't have the heal anymore too. So
no, you don't, and that means you have to heavily rely on your supports. And I feel like just because of the speed at which Bastion moves at, regardless of what formation he's in, it's kind of not worth it when you've got a team that has that much movement speed in their favor.
I mean, he's almost as big as a tank, but he's a DPS, so he's easy to hit.
Yes, we used to jokingly say in Overwatch 1 that when Bastion went into tank formation, you had a third tank on the field, but you're really not a tank. You don't have as large a health pool. It's really difficult to stay alive if the team focuses you, and that's exactly what we saw. The Bastion swap came out and went back.
It would have made more sense if they had made Bastion a tank than if they had did Doomfist, I'm thinking. I could see that. I could see that. But they decided to give it to Doom. And
it's okay. I mean, in all honesty, I feel like a tank with a railgun, other than Orisa, who's already very slow, little bit unfair. And we're going to be moving into Route 66 for our push map. I do believe that the Tornadoes most likely are going to be picking to go on defense first, since they did not get to pick the map. Riptides are going to be on offense. But we'll have to wait and see. I can be wrong. I'm wrong a lot, but I'm pretty sure that's how this is going to work out.
As we see the initial loadouts being brought out, Tornadoes look like they might be bringing out the Widowmaker to start out with here.
And a side note for anyone who's interested in lore, because, you know, I'm a complete lore freak.
We were talking about this last week.
Yes, this map, that explosion here that we see on this train might actually be what we are hearing in the Grand Central Terminal Station when they're discussing that there is a fire on one of the railways, and that is why we are pushing that fire truck to get there. We'll have to wait and see when the PvE comes out, but as a lore buff, I'm very much so hoping that they're connecting the new maps to the old maps, and that is just one of the ways that they're doing it. We do see Reinhardt coming out right now for the Riptide.
Just looking to make sure they still have my favorites.
We've got Reinhardt coming out right now for the Riptides. It's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out. Ryan is not typically a pick you go for quite so quickly here now in Overwatch 2. Considering there was a full dive coming out from the Tornadoes, I personally would not be on Reinhardt, but I wish you luck, Joe.
He's going to hold his rectangle up and hope for the best, but it has a lot less health now as a lot of shields have been taken away or nerfed in Overwatch 2. Tornadoes still looking to hold him here. The Riptides are going to get a little bit of a push, but no major breakthrough thus far.
We're going to see some Genji on Genji aggression happening here. Jared's going to choose to drop back just a tiny bit. That Tessa, that secondary fire now that Winston has, covers a lot of distance. It's quite deadly. You can see them poking down JR quite a bit. Moira's going to rotate back, help them out. Though they're still sitting sub 200. They have not full health. They have not received their full health pool yet. They got the Orb of Discord as well from Pando. And Zenyatta is absolutely disgusting in Overwatch 2. If you dive him, odds are you're going to get a shoe to your face and knock back about 6 feet. We'll see how that works out here for JR as they push forward. Zen's already kiting back, though.
Going to deflect some of those shots from the Zen, but as soon as that deflect gets taken out, one shot from the Widowmaker does it.
We have Lyric just peppering damage here on the side of Bill. Winston pops out Primal Rage, and Mango down from Lyric's, just their rifle shots, headshots dinking everywhere, finding a couple of weak characters, and Joe's going to take out Binomial, so losing your main tank means you have to give up a little bit of space here. Let's see what the Tornadoes decide to do. Is we have Lyric, I think, rotating over to Closet. Yes, they're going to go on top of Closet, being prepared for an initial engage here coming out from the Riptides.
And there are a lot of hero choices for the Tornadoes that can just pepper you with so much damage from away. We've already got both snipers out, and the Zen, if you charge his right-click upright, he can just take you out in one. So there's a lot of DPSs that unless you get up there and take them out, they're just going to keep doing damage from way far away.
Nanoblade actually comes out, Beat gets dropped, they don't find anyone on their own. It's Kaiba takes out the immortality. Binomial, it's Kaiba find a few for themselves each. It's Kaiba finds a third one, actually, just demonstrating how deadly that Ana really is. Lyric will go down, but only losing a DPS, you can still maintain quite a bit of space, just like Tornadoes are doing right now.
And we see that kick being brought out. Really push you back extremely far if you're caught on the wrong end of it. They're going to use the infrared sights to start things off here. JR, that Genji hit with the Orb of Discord! Oh, this Zen! I do not want to go up against him.
Pando, I love it. That was beautiful. You got Binomial getting a little greedy, finding one as their Winston was pushed too far forward for the Riptide. Binomial also has their ult on one line, but they aren't going to choose to pop it. They are sub 200 health right now, pushing back, given they're on a lot of ult charge now. Team's maintaining hold on this corner. Lyric finds another. This engage is going to be a little bit scrappy if they take it too soon here for the side of the Riptides.
Already, they're not going to have Toasty available thanks to that great play by Lyric. They have less than a minute to get to the first checkpoint. By Naomi is going to use Primal Rage, heading into the back line, trying to take out the squishies, but quickly going to be retreating, heading up towards top here, defend his own squishies, and does that with ease, taking out that Genji. Once again, the Riptide's just running into a brick wall.
Mango got antied immediately, getting zapped to pieces by that Tesla cannon. It finally goes down to Joe, so there goes that Ana. And a little bit of the DPS for the Tornadoes. They're retreating, maintaining a little bit of space here. They are okay. Winston still on the high ground, is aware that they've lost their Ana though, so they gotta be careful. 9 seconds left, they just gotta hold space for a bit.
There goes the Genji Blade. One last chance. We're going to have dueling Genjis actually with their blades. Toasty is going to be eliminated. And there you go. The Genji duel goes in favor of Massivy. He gets taken out, but it's still a 3-for-1 trade. It's a nano boost and a Winston. They're both going to get, he's going to get hit by the sleep dart. It's going to give Tornadoes just a little bit of extra chance to reset here.
I'm going to call it now. I think that Genji Blade from Massivy is actually going to be play of the game. It shut down a Soldier Visor on top of taking down 2 in that process. So that's quite a bit of work for one ultimate as we hear Beat get dropped. Riptide's just trying to maintain a footing here. It's only 3 on point. A Discord on the squishy of the Tracer, and their Winston goes to sleep for a little bit. One goes down to the deflect. Binomial finds Jair, and do think that might be the end of the fight.
All that's left is this Lucio trying to stall it out. Taken out at the end with the Primal Rage. Tornadoes very convincingly holding there. It's just going to be a walk in the park now for them to go to match point.
We see this Winston holding this high ground position, doing it with ease, doing a lot of damage. And there's the Genji Blade I was talking about. This is the one that shuts down the visor coming around this corner. They see them, they slice them, and they are gone. Yes, the life of the Genji was lost at the end, but not before getting 3 picks. Now, one thing I will mention to the Riptides is that it held true in Overwatch 1. It still holds true here, and that is soft resetting or resetting completely. You got to respect the enemy team, especially when they have a Widowmaker who hits their shots in the form of Lyric. You can't be pushing forward when you're down too many people or just even down your main tank. It's not worth it.
And a much more menacing look at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. And also, by proxy, the Colorado River down there. Should it be still down there in that timeline? But that's another topic for another day.
Yeah, this is set a little bit further forward than right now. Hopefully the Colorado River still exists, but who the heck knows? It could have changed. We have Pando.
But at least the hot dogs at the Panorama Diner are still made out. I love how they're still their main selling point on the billboard is it just says meat.
True. Thankfully, they're still made of meat. We've got Pando pulling out on the Brigitte, so we got the Brig on for the Tornadoes. I still refer to Brig as, you know, a raid boss when she gets her ultimate. So if that Brig does their job and does work well, we're going to see a lot of fantastic rallies coming out from Pando.
Moving forward here, up onto the gas station. Binomial gonna dive up again, but meeting a lot of resistance here from this Rhine. But Rhine's taking damage little by little. Is down to about half health there. Does manage to heal up. But already, just in terms of pushing the payload, Tornadoes have put themselves into a 1-5 win territory.
They have, and we also see there that Toasty Rapid stayed alive for an extremely long time because of that immortality that could not be focused with Genji solo diving on to Toasty Rapids. They ended up losing their life. Lyric is going to find 1. Type is going to go down to Toasty Rapids as well, so they pick up 2 for themselves. Mango will res our Bastion. Very interesting choice to try to continue with that, but it's working. Lyric, though, all the way in the back line as a Widow. Not sure how long they'll live, and as soon as I say that, Toasty Rapids takes them down.
Trying to take out that Mercy pocket there. Especially dangerous on that Sojourn. Valkyrie is going to be popped by Riptides. No ultimates available for Tornadoes trying to go up against that.
There's Nano and Shatter coming out. Binomial goes down. Mathesey's gonna go down. JR's gonna find Lyric, and with that, we have another fight and a little bit more time here for the Riptides as we see Buckle is going to use that grenade to pop themselves over here back onto the high ground. This is the standard spot to hold, but it's also difficult to deal with a full dive going into that because that billboard does make 2 points of entry for a team to wrap around and take you out. We'll see how that is utilized here as we go into the next fight.
Railgun now on a line for JR. That Genji Blade's also there, almost taking out that Mercy in midair. There goes that Railgun. A bunch of firing, but no hits thus far. There is
able to take it out. Bastion and also the Mercy falls.
Now it is just Joe and Toasty Rabbits left. Joe tries to do some damage, but they can't make it to that payload in time. And with that, the Tornadoes will win out Dorado here in due fashion. Nicely done, everyone involved. That was absolutely beautiful. Let's see the play of the game. I really do still think it's that Genji Blade. It is a Genji play, but we'll have to see if I'm right.
I'm gonna find out here.
Yes, this
is indeed the one, yes.
That was just spicy. Nicely
Takes
done.
out a visor, and again, even though he gets taken out in the end, it's still free for one trade. You're negating another ultimate and taking out their Genji Blade as well. There's just so much value with that play.
Yeah, I mean, typically as a DPS and you use an ultimate like that and jump right into the back line, you anticipate maybe a one-for-one trade, and you're like, I traded, it's fair, especially if there's an ult involved from the enemy team. But in that case, taking out 3 and taking out ult, absolutely beautiful.
Well, now we get to the all-important point, which is Game 3, and we're going to find out, though, if they indeed scheduled it to be push in Game 3, or if we have to go to a Game 4.
I really hope it's push, but typically I believe the next one is most likely hybrid.
Which, yeah, I guess if I want to.
I can be depressed a little bit longer. I just really got to root for...
Yeah, which means now you root against the team, because you just want to see it go to push. Oh, we have heard it is push from
okay, thank you, production.
Here.
I appreciate you guys.
Much.
And I appreciate Esports Tower for making it the third map, because that guarantees in best of 5 series that we're going to see it.
And I think also just for the pacing of the game, for everyone involved, it's nice, because Control goes by so fast, and then you just have Hybrid and Escort, which can... going back to back, those can be so long. So breaking it up a little, bringing in kind of this more control length mode is really nice here. And we're heading back over to Rome.
Yes, we're at Coliseum where we've got gladiators battling in that arena. Possibly there's a new hero in that arena as well. We may find out later when the next beta drops.
Beta 2.
Hopefully, maybe, but with our luck as players, we will we'll have to wait until the entire game drops. However, this is the entire point of Overwatch 2, at least for anyone that hated 2CP, myself included, and that doesn't exist anymore. It's been replaced by push. If you're not familiar with it, there is a robot with a payload. Well, the payload is a barrier.
If you're not familiar with it, play Tower Control, because it's literally the same. It is literally the same as Tower Control in Splatoon. And I'm not saying that is a bad thing. Tower Control is a fun mode.
And going into this, basically the goal is after the first 30 seconds elapse, the robot is going to unlock, and your job is to push that barrier all the way to the other spawn. However, one strategy that we've seen coming out in some higher division gameplay currently is that no one gets a full cap onto that second point because they don't want their spawns to shift, and they cap it at the last possible second. We'll have to see if that's the strategy these esports teams go for, or if they're just trying to make it all the way to the very end, because that second, when the payload gets, when that barrier gets all the way to the end, it is right by the spawn doors.
Buckle here has gone over to the Reaper. There goes a grind battle. Going to be won by Niwo. Tornadoes already looking like they want to close this out. A little bit of a whip on the charge there, but it looks all right. Still contested in terms of a robot. There's chasing after someone there, but they got away. Now here we go, and one thing to keep in mind is if you're in new territory, that robot pushes slow, but if you're trying to catch up and get back to where you were, that robot will go a lot faster. So there's plenty of opportunity in this mode for comebacks.
And it is very similar to how payload works. The more people you have on it, the faster it moves, but the strategy typically is place one person on it. Very nicely done here for the Tornadoes, immediately pushing up to the spawn doors, because giving up that high ground there while you're trying to push, not worth it. We see a Shatter come out from Niwo, our new tank, rotating in right now for the Tornadoes. They've not been here for the other 2 maps thus far. But the Coalescence is going to allow Joes to push forward, and they are now at that barrier in the backline, looking quite squishy.
Now Riptides have recaptured the robot, and you're going to see how fast that thing moves back towards center. They're going to start building up there, and Pando finds himself in a bad spot there. Almost maybe could have been taken out for a stagger. It's Kiba is going to know, and now Tornadoes have to wait just a little bit more if they want to push this full team. And
we do see the Tornadoes are choosing to stick by that barrier right now instead of trying to push forward and pick up some scrappy fight opportunities here. As a lot of the Tornadoes had pushed up without their backline support, they did have their Rhine, but no healing for a bit there. That might be their undoing, because mimicking, taking the control of that high ground could have been the winning factor for this fight, as we hear Blade and Beat get dropped.
Moving forward, Joe with a huge charge back to the center to knock Lyric out of the way. What a gutsy play. He's paid for it with a lot of health and is initially going to be taken down, but the glory.
Yes, it's all yours. Now we got Neo once again pushing forward, claiming that high ground space, making sure that those DPS do not get it, because Lyric, they need that high ground control. Trying to fight as a DPS from the low ground is just not very fun. Having your tank making the space for you is absolutely massive. If we hear the Amplification Matrix get dropped, there's the Immortality. Shatter is online. Oh, and that Fire Strike just takes out that Reinhardt for the Riptides.
Almost toward the checkpoint, and since this isn't the first push, like you said, they're going to be happy claiming it. Moving towards the home stretch here is JR with this railgun. Might try to do something to put a dent.
Look at that dodge for the Shatter. He stays alive. He's so zippy around the track.
And we have that railgun come online. We mentioned the buff earlier, but didn't quite give you a whole lot of information. If you're not aware, the projectile size of that railgun got increased. So if you were already accurate with it, the odds of you not hitting a shot now is very slim. So it's very scary to go against, to say the least, as someone who can't land shots as
Robot back toward half point. There heads Lyric with his own railgun. It's going to be a duel here.
Seeing who's the better soldier, and bailed out by the Lucio with that sound barrier. What great team play to get Tornadoes the control back.
Mathesy and Neo will both pick up one apiece. So Buckle and Joe both go down. Toasty Rapids getting very low. They're going to retreat, but not fast enough. Reinhardt just swinging to win, finds them, claiming that space yet again. This team is moving so fast. The Tornadoes are not giving up any inch of space for the Riptides to claim here, pushing them all the way back towards their spawn yet again. Rotating here onto the bridge. They push more. Joe with a great shatter, but we do see that there's an Immor. Does not last long. We have Reaper pick up 2, Joe pick up 1, a quad kill gets dropped, and now that robot is moving quickly.
Moving very fast back towards the center, and now they need to get past 94.5 meters here. Tornadoes can just rest easy knowing they have such a big lead and just need to win a few team fights to keep those pushes at bay. Death Blossom here off the side for Buckle. He's not going to be using that Amp Matrix by Kiba, but is just waiting for his own moment to head into the backline and take out all those squishies.
The Riptides are making a very big mistake almost every fight reset. They had everybody alive before this fight started and chose to keep everyone near that robot. It worked out here, but if they don't claim this space quickly, the retake coming out from the Tornadoes will be very easily. They need to make sure they go take that high ground, leave one person with the robot. It moves fast enough as is. You don't need 4 people, technically almost 5. We see Reinhardt goes forward. Yes, they are pushing forward, claiming that high ground space, realizing the mistake that they have been making.
Going somewhere?
Now we have 2.5 minutes left. Probably 2 team fights left that the Tornadoes could lose before the Riptides get to that 94.5 meters. They would love to win this one right now, and they're going to start off with the Genji Blade, heading right into the Sojourn, and now he has the Rhine next on his list. He's going to pick him up. Now the Lucio.
Gosh.
It's almost a full team wide. Buckle just has to fade away. They're on the hunt for him, but the Tornadoes can rest a lot easier now.
Hey.
That was absolutely horrifying. We do see Railgun's going to be online for JR. Going into this next fight, Lyric is going to be the only one with the ult immediately on hand. Pando might be able to get it if they do enough damage and enough healing before the full fight begins. Not a whole lot of scrappy fights like we saw in the beginning stages of the beta for the teams here with Esports Tower. They've cleaned that up quite a bit, but the positioning is still the struggle for most of these guys. Gotta make sure you're making those fights happen in bad places for the other team when they're re-engaging.
Oh, she still survives though.
There was a beat drop, so Lyric had a little bit of larger health, but they eventually do go down.
It's the second time that's happened. He's bailed out the Sojourn with that sound barrier.
I mean, it's worth it in most cases, and I think it still was. They did manage to pick up Joe after Joe just dove in to take out Lyric.
Now they're in the home stretch here, going past 110 in terms of meters, halfway to that final point, but this railgun could spend an end to that dream. Not even going to use the amp matrix that was thrown down there by Kiba. They just have to run for cover, but they can't escape this Sojourn.
Ooh.
Nice play by Lyric to take out that Sojourn, but is it too little too late? I think it is, because Riptides now have control of the robot.
Lyric retreating back. It's okay. You can see the payload distance is drastically different between these two teams. The Riptides have 45 seconds to get to that second checkpoint. It's quite the task to undertake, especially because that means we've got basically 2, if not 3 fights. Joe's going to drop that ultimate, but the Shatter will not land.
Now we have just half a minute left with Tornadoes coming through in flying colors. All they needed was one team fight win, and they probably have this. Chasing after the Sojourn, one final hammer hit. Where's the Reaper? He's fading away, manages to escape that one, but now they have just 10 seconds left. Just one final desperate fight over this robot. They might start it off with this Death Blossom heading into the backline. It's huge. It takes out Genji and Baptiste as well. Now heading after this, Lucio takes him out as well. A full team wipe for the Riptides. And now Tornadoes need one more team fight win in order to get the victory.
Riptide's pushing forward. They need to get this checkpoint. We are in overtime. Let's see if they can, but that means you cannot C9 this barrier. That's a rough situation to put yourself in to have to deal with. We won't no C9. Lyric finds Mango. They also find Toasty. Panda with a little bit of help there from Lyric. Will find Joe as well. Implication Matrix drops. And unfortunately, Buckle can't shadow step and fade away from that one. It's going to shift, and with that, the Tornadoes will win the 3rd map in a row, closing out this best-of-5 series, I believe.
And isn't that just pleasant, not having to swap sides here, just knowing what's done is done. It's quick, it's simple, but it's just the right amount of time. I really love push, and this was a great play here by Buckler. That was just kind of instinctively used. Once he knew that Shatter was gone, immediately used the Death Blossom, paid off for him here. But it just wasn't enough to overcome the Tornadoes.
Absolutely massive. Nicely done, Tornadoes. Congratulations on winning out this week's Grand Championships. Riptides, this is your first appearance here in the Grand Championships, especially for the Overwatch 2 beta, so congratulations making it this far. Hopefully we'll be able to see you in our Grand Champs more in the future, because of course we will. You've got plenty of opportunities, you've got VOD reviews, and you've got time together as a team to improve. So best of luck with your training this next week, and I'm excited to see what you bring to the table next week. And, you know, ultimately, Gem, going at it alone can only get you so far, and if you want your chances of success to increase, you need to level up your teaming skills. We definitely saw that coming out from Pando, using that sound barrier repeatedly to save Lyric. So nicely done to you guys. And you can see how talented all these players are that come out of Esports Tower. They really take the time to create well-matched teammates. And like to give a shout out to the coaches. And if you're watching and haven't checked out Esports Tower clubs, you definitely should. It's the fast track to help you rank up. The Tornadoes have wrapped up our Group B with the 3-0 win in the Grand Finals over the Riptides. Now our final Grand Finals for Overwatch 2 will be between the Wolves and the Tsunamis for Group A. And do you have any predictions for that one?
Ooh, I don't know, because in these Grand Finals, it can either be a very long, drawn-out fight, or it can just be an instant win. It all depends on how the bracket was set up earlier in this tournament. So we will find out how evenly matched the Wolves and the Tsunamis are going to be very soon. I can't wait to see Push again. But I think we're going to take a break, aren't we?
Yes, we are. We'll take a quick break, go grab some water. I definitely need some. And we'll see you back here in just a few minutes.
Growing up in Idaho, we have certain rules we live by. First rule, camouflage never goes out of style. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by. Growing up in Riggins, we have certain rules we live by. Look both ways before crossing the street. Fishing stories get better the more you tell them. Small town life makes your life anything but small. Never work alone when you go hunting. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
We're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day. We're going to save families from disaster and feed those left in the cold. We invite you to join us. The next greatest generation is now.
Broadcast the Esports Tower Rumble in Overwatch. We're broadcasting it from the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. It's week 6 and our final Overwatch 2 Rumble will be here with our grand finals for Group A between the Wolves and the Tsunamis. I'm still your host, Nerdy Bird, and on desk calling all the action with me is Jem. But before we jump into that, Jem, we have, one thing we'd like to say to all of our Esports Tower players and give them a moment to, really soak in the opportunities that they're getting. And if you guys are curious about these types of opportunities, well, you might want to pay a little bit of attention to this because esports is actually very important.
Yeah, and the message that we have to give to them is congratulations, because a lot of scholarships have been won in Esports Tower.
Yes, and so in total, the Esports Tower Club members over the last 3 months across the country have actually received over $1.6 million in scholarship awards. These students have not only worked hard on their in-game play, but have worked hard academically and have earned these scholarship opportunities. We could not be more excited and more proud to see all of these opportunities these players are getting. And if you guys in the future end up at a university that we have the opportunity to play against, make sure you let us know, especially if you change your name, but if not, we'll most likely recognize you. Congratulations to each and every single one of you.
Now we're ready to head into the second match of the night. This is going to be the other grand final between the Tsunamis and the Wolves. But before we get to that, we have some tips we'd like to give them.
Yes, and those tips come in the form of Doc's Keys to the Game, presented today by Esports Tower. Doc's Keys in Overwatch are never take a fair fight, take fights in unexpected places, when they're unprepared, and keep your tank alive. Doc's Keys to the Game are presented by esportstower.com, where you can score pro advice, improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure. You'll get matched with great players and professional coaches to help you rank up.
Now we're ready to head into the Wolves versus Tsunamis, and one of the things that I'm most excited to see, other than a new push stage, which is a given, but I just love seeing the new play on this Sojourn. I almost think it's kind of really understated how exciting watching some of the gameplay can be because of that dash ability. It really reminds me of characters in other games. I'm thinking of Lex from Paladins, who had his quick slide, or you're thinking of Jet from Valorant, Valorant, who has her dash. It's just, it's
too.
one of those understated abilities, like in the hands of a really good player, it can be used as a great setup to get yourself into a great angle they're not expecting, or a great getaway. It's just, I think Sojourn perfectly kind of embodies that easy to pick up but hard to put down type of hero, that it's easy, you can understand her kit, but in the hands of a really skilled player, oh boy.
Yeah, well, we have yet to see the limits of that skill ceiling altogether. Of course, this is our last opportunity to see a Sojourn, as the beta is going to be officially closed. This is our last Esports Tower Rumble for the time being, and we are starting out with push. I feel like maybe someone actually heard me crying and it said, okay, we'll give it to you on the first map here. And we are on New Queen Street, so we'll see how this works out as we wait for that robot to unlock.
Big Dream is already going to take out Echo, putting the Wolves in a nice spot, but it's going to quickly, tries to get res, but is going to pay for it, as this Bastion really unstoppable in the first few seconds of this match.
We do have the Wolves locking down that robot immediately. Avian and the Big Dream are both two new players for the Wolves, but it looks like they're getting into this quite easily for themselves. And what we heard earlier coming out from us on desk was you don't want to have too many people sitting on that robot and giving up a lot of space. We also do see that we've got some changes coming out, and we've got Echo online swapping over to that Cassidy.
As they're going to make their way around the first turn here, will Tsunamis be able to stop the Wolves? Flame Strike heads out from that Reinhardt. We're going to have some hammer swinging back and forth. Kingsriver is going to be taken down, but so is the other Rein. So both of them are left to fight without their tank. It's Echo on the Cassidy here, trying to pepper damage on to that Bastion, but still not enough to stop the Wolves. They are already to their first checkpoint.
That was some fast robot progression. Even trying to take the multiple angles didn't work out in favor for the Tsunamis, and now they are kind of just going in as one spear, trying to keep their Rein alive. Got to back off. Wolf supports and Rein are the ones here right now, waiting on those DPS. The spawns have rotated because that checkpoint was grabbed. They can go back, but that does mean the Tsunamis need to move forward quickly.
Echo is able to take out Dream right away, which is a major player for the Wolves, and the only one who has an ultimate, so there's most likely going to be a capture there, as well as some melees. From Dark is going to eliminate Avian. He gets a double. Now way back toward the center. Tsunami's going to start their first push.
The Big Dream trying to get some damage here. We do see that the Reaper's going to shadow step, but they're awfully low, immediately forced to Wraith out.
Barrage incoming.
I absolutely despise this ultimate. There's only a few abilities in the game that can stop it, and unfortunately none of those abilities are going to be available because those characters are not on either of these teams. So best of luck surviving that one. You managed to make it out alive, but will you stay alive much longer as Monclover comes out with that Death Blossom, and the Reinhardt just immediately shifts in.
Now, Wolves gain back control of the robot, have plenty of time to build up their lead. Let's see, trying to take out that Ana, but is going to meet the Reaper instead, eliminating Echo.
Manclover actually, according to the coaches, has been a fantastic flex player for the Wolves, and they've been really impressed with his performance lately, pulling together this squad. Let's see if that pays off in spades for them as we hear that coalescence and the nano boost get popped.
They retake control of the robot, take out 3 from the Wolves. Monclover unable to escape though and gets staggered too. Avian's the only one left surviving. This can't be too careless here in where they position themselves. Is actually going to rejoin the fight as the Reinhardt is already back, ready to fight.
Avian also has that nano boost online. They're regrouping a little bit, making sure they're maintaining space but not putting themselves in bad positions. Robot is pushing. They've got all 4 players on it. Got to be careful for those flanks coming out. Tracer is there. It looks like Dark is going to go after them. Here, Deadeye gets dropped as well. Shatter's there. Will they go off together? Picks up one, picks up another. Can they get a third? Or maybe that's going to be a Reinhardt on Reinhardt battle.
Oh, one of them gets pinned. It's Dragon, and a final swing to end it.
A team wipe. I am better than you.
Nicely done. That we get to see our fantastic team ace there. Though we don't get to hear that voice line in Overwatch, it's a team kill. It still applies here.
Now they're moving even further, looking to build up their lead. Past 80 meters now in their overall push.
Look out for the Shatter here, and the Death Blossom, he's just going to hold up his shield to negate it. That is a whip if I ever saw one. Now still hasn't used the Shatter, trying to find the right moment to use it. Might not use it because the fight looks like it's already won in favor of the Tsunamis, as Dark has a respawn. Now is back fighting. Still contested though, and they're still pushing forward, the Wolves.
Now at 85 meters, they're progressing quite fast. Let's see if this can get turned around. Both Reinhardt's have Shatter on a line, and as you mentioned, Dragon Shadow's been very hesitant to use theirs. That's kind of just as bad as using it in a bad spot as not using it whatsoever. So Dragon Shadow, I feel like you could have had another Shatter online by this point. It's time to start looking for it. They eventually do. Finding Toxic Kill, finding Monclover, and King Swifter will go down as well.
Big Dream trying to get elimination here. There is really the only one who's still surviving there for the Wolves, but they've all respawned now. Now we'll see how King Swiffer does. Oh, gets stuck. That Sticky Bomb taking out Avian there. We're going to see if this Shatter works out well for the Wolves, as Tsunamis have thrown everything they have. Those are their last two ultimates for a while. King Swiffer gets eliminated off the bat. But that is not all that the Wolves have to say. They're going to use that Death Blossom, taking out the Immor Field and Luki as well. Looks like they're in a great position to retake this robot here. Dragon Shadow very low on health. The Baptiste is trying to heal him up, but it's not going to be enough.
Tsunami still battling for control. They have one on the point, and eventually Echo Online will go down as well. Dark is going to rotate back, realizing it's not worth trying to go in. The Big Dream trying to get some pepper damage in here. They go down very low. Do have recall, choose not to use it, realizing they've got plenty of time. Now looking for an opportunity to find an off angle here for their team. Ooh, they're going for a flank. They're going for a full spawn flank. Please let it be big.
We'll just have to see. The Tsunamis have already engaged. All of their attention is devoted to the front line. What a Shatter there to catch out Dragon Shadow. One more swing and the flank, but it's still not enough. The Tsunamis actually win that one.
Dragon, I don't know how you live, but word of advice, if you're tracking ults, don't let the enemy, don't have your back turned to the enemy right off like that in the future. Your team just bailed you out so hard. That was absolutely fantastic coming out from the Tsunamis, but they got a lot of ground to make up here as we're dropping down to that 50-second mark.
Coalescence and a Death Blossom are available for this fight, as well will be the Amp Matrix by Ethan. So Tsunami should have a slight ult advantage. Only ult for the Wolves is going to be used. Is met with the Death Blossom right into the face of that Moira.
And Dark will pick up 3, and we have Ethan finding Monclover as well. Wolves all sent back to the spawn except for the Big Dream, hanging on to that one Big Dream, down to 115 health, choosing to get out, trying to just stay alive. Keeping attention is, you know, a resource, and being in that backline can be enough to distract more than one person at a time.
There was such a huge distance to cover to tie up with the Tsunamis that Wolves are going to get one more chance here to win this. And if they do, that's a great start, but gets traded back as Big Dream gets eliminated 4v4. One DPS gone for each team, and Dragon Shadow is able to eliminate King, swapping it in favor over the Tsunamis. As long as they maintain control of that robot, overtime will keep going.
They just have to close out 13 meters here. Pulse Bomb drops.
Woo!
Luki will go down. The Big Dream goes down to Dragon Shadow, though, so it was a fair trade, but Lucio gets back a little bit faster than a Tracer does.
King Swiffer does not have this ultimate online. If he realizes he can use the Shatter now. King Swiffer gets taken out there, still holding on to that Shatter. It's overtime and very
close. Come on,
close.
Dragon. Yes, we see the Shatter get dropped, but it doesn't find anybody. But Wolves got to push this all the way back. Even if they get control here, Lucky's trying to stay alive.
There they go. All they need to do is take control of it, and that's going to be it.
Nicely done, Wolves. You will win our first map here on Push. Let's see if you can keep that rolling. It's still a best of 5, so it's anybody's game right now. So we see Monclover pick up the play of the game.
And this one of these great Death Blossom scenarios. That's interesting. So it wasn't the Death Blossom. There's actually just the kills after that one kill afterwards. So the whip on the Death Blossom
followed by just 1 kill is enough to get play of the game. I would challenge the algorithm on that one.
Especially because we introduced the play of the game with that. That was a huge whiff if you go back through the VOD.
I know.
So nicely done, Monclover. You still got play of the game, but I would like to see it be with the Reaper Death Blossom. I know a lot of people will say that like that's ultimate crutching, whatever. Everyone's like, oh, you hit Q and got play of the game. Like, that's how it works.
That's how an ultimate is supposed
like,
to be.
You're supposed to get deadly when you have an ult, unless you're a support. I mean, Mercy, I totally get it. You really, there's not a whole lot you can do.
How about you stop complaining about them pressing Q and you start tracking the ultimate yourself so you can play around it?
There we go.
But it's never my fault. It's always everyone else's fault.
Yeah.
The ultimate is broken. They haven't balanced it. That's why I always lose. It's not me at all.
No, not at all. None whatsoever. It's the tank's fault.
It always is.
But if you're in DPS,
I'm
it's
in
sports.
silver, and I know everything there is about this game.
Yes, exactly. That is how this game works. I'm very excited to see how this next map goes because I want to see a full 5 series here tonight. As I beg for that every single time, and if the players don't want that, I'm very sorry. It's just that makes it exciting. We're going to jump in here in our next game of our second grand finals tonight between the Tsunamis and the Wolves. It looks like we're going to be going on to Dorado.
All right, so the first time we are seeing full escort be brought out right now.
And we've got matching tanks. We've got Winston and Winston, the Big Dream, and Echo Online. Echo Online, of course, going with the Echo. I love to see that. And we've got matching supports. The only difference is we've got Dark on that Tracer, and then we've got Monclover over here on the Reaper. We're going to see which one battles out to be the victor here. Tsunamis are going to be on defense first. That can be a little bit of an advantage using a Tracer over using a Reaper, but sometimes I feel like if you're prepared to go against dive, especially because Monclover's been hard locking that Reaper, perhaps going with the Cassidy might have been a better opportunity. We'll have to see if it works out, though.
Wolves now starting their push. It looks like they're going to be able to meet them up on the rooftops here. It's a Winston v. Winston fight. You also see the Mercy pocket on the Echo is going to mean Big Dream wins that first Echo battle. That's going to start a great push for the Wolves here.
One of the difficult things as a Mercy is knowing when it's okay to damage boost and knowing when you need to be healing, and I feel like there it was definitely the damage boost that paid off better. So Echo Online unfortunately getting healing, but that damage was going into you, especially with stickies, means you got microwave very quickly, and Dark still alive here on the Tracer, gets very low, chooses to just int off the back of the map, realizing it's time for a reset. Now, the payload space that is the hardest to keep and push forward through is that archway. It looks like the Wolves are going to get it quite fast.
Yeah, also another fight with that Echo is going decisively in the favor of Big Dream here. Avian also being quite a force himself, putting a bit more damage. Mercy also gets taken out. It's been basically no huge resistance from the Tsunamis as the Wolves keep pushing forward.
Mookie definitely needs to start using their Guardian Angel at the right moments and just trying to stay out of line of fire while getting a damage boost. It's a difficult thing to pull off, but playing Mercy Parkour can help out. I do know that the super jump change, though, could be what's causing the issue here for Lucky. We'll have to wait and see if they start getting a foothold here. We've got Dark pushing in, looking to pick up this Ana. 3 of the Tsunami players will go down, though.
Swiffer elimination toward Dark. It's a lot of trading back and forth. The Wolves might still be able to survive. They have people on the point there. King Swiffer has respawned, and there goes Avian and Monclover picking up the pieces and getting the Wolves past the first checkpoint.
And unfortunately, Ethan did stagger themselves quite a bit, so being down your Ana can be a bit difficult when you're having a Winston diving in. No opportunities other than to retreat for the Tsunamis now. Smart decision, definitely, but the reclaiming this high ground space, losing their Echo as well can be quite difficult. So we got Monclover going back and being like, okay, I will stay on payload.
Yep, you have to devote a bigger percentage of your team now to be on the payload.
We've got Dark trying to go pick up this Echo. Can they? Because Echo does not have their pocket with them. They will go down, unfortunately. We hear Toxic pop that Valkyrie, and we do see that Dragon Shadow is not hesitating using this Primal Rage this time in comparison to their Shatter. Yes, I'm calling you out on that. And they will claim a lot of space for their team.
Wolves regaining control here, not really having to use any of their ultimates, only using the Valkyrie. And Swiffer managing to eliminate Dark. There goes the Soldier as well. Both DPS is gone for Tsunamis. Big Dream, Ethan is still putting a lot of pressure, taking Big Dream out.
Oof, unfortunately that sleep was whipped by Ethan there. Poor timing on it. That shadow step timing, you gotta make sure you have it down so you don't sleep too early like that. Dragon Shadow is gonna go 1v1 against King Swifter, who was using that primal rage to just push back these players. Does get slept, but maybe they'll get woken up before the sleep duration's done. Nope, they're gonna take the entire nap.
There goes the copy, is gonna be bringing out onto the soldier. There goes the visor, right online. Here it goes. Where is he exactly?
Oh,
there he is.
Right
there he is. Right there on the point. Excuse me. Sorry. I just needed my eyes to work for a split second there, and then they came through for me. So, talking about people coming through for people. There go the Wolves getting the second checkpoint.
And they're going to immediately push forward and claim some space. Unfortunately, Monclover, I think you're going to have to use Death Blossom and then go back and payload for a little bit. It's smart to try and pick up these staggers and force people back, but doing it for too long can be your team's undoing. We have King Swifter go down, immediately get rezzed by Toxic Kill. Yes, this is Monclover immediately is like, yeah, I hear you guys, I'm on payload.
Trying to take out the Echoes, which Big Dream seems to have won the Echo duels more. He's actually having to go up against the pocketed soldier here. A lot of damage. It's gonna get flanked out by the Hog, which is a swap over by Dragon Shadow and immediately pays off.
Roadhog is absolutely disgusting in the Overwatch 2 beta. I mean, yeah, he was already gross in Overwatch 1, especially if they just went on flanks. But now, unless you get that ante on them and your team decides to focus them, they stay alive for so long. As Monclover drops the Death Blossom, picks up 2. We will see a res come out, but it's going to be on to Echo on line. Toxic actually will res Monclover too. The hook from Dragon lands. Take a breather, and they're still up here. Two focusing on them. They do eventually go down. This payload awfully close to that last checkpoint.
Definitely one of those heroes that you're glad that the wow.
I think that was an oopsie, but also at the same time, I understand it's a huge flex to copy a support and be like, I got my ultimate.
I was going to say, Roadhog definitely one of those heroes that is making a lot of people relieve that the ult charge that you get from hitting tanks is reduced, because, oh my goodness, that would be so bad.
Specifically from Roadhog, it's also been nerfed a little bit into the ground, but still Roadhog, it's kind of a last-ditch pick, I feel like, especially on, the last checkpoint when you're on defense. The survivability is just absolutely disgusting if you don't get focused, but that's also kind of what you're banking on, is to not have someone hard focus you. But now, knowing that that's the only way to take out a Hog, you can kind of guarantee it when you've got a full entire team working together on the other side.
Ready for battle.
Well, talking about is going to stay on the Hog here, and I got to say those hooks have been very accurate. And before we saw that hook there in that replay onto the Winston, it also hooked a Mercy out of the air as well, so seems to be very well tuned to it. Actually, no, going to be swapping over to Sigma.
Sad thing, Sigma has shoes on now in the Overwatch 2 beta. I had to mention it. There's people who miss it. It's okay. I'm not one of them.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm one of them either.
It's just absolutely hilarious.
It's just like the developers were thinking, okay, we gotta put a lid on this right now.
And they did. And we do see Dark is going to be popping out on that Hanzo, immediately looking to get a Sonic Arrow here on the high ground, identify where some people are. And it does look like there's Ana quite deep over by Yellow House here. Interesting positioning, can make it quite easy to take down off this dive, considering they've already lost Toxic. Avian gets very low. Looks like they're going to heal up themselves. Echo online peppering damage up that corridor, and it looks like the King Swifter is going to get very low as well. Quite a lot of ult charge there, though, if they can manage to stay alive. That damage boost for Echo online coming out from Lucky is paying off in spades right now.
Tsunami's definitely matching the pace they need to set, that they needed to make if they want to take on the Wolves here. Yet to really stop this forward push. There's another from Ethan. And a huge anti-nade thrown onto the Tsunamis as well. Actually, that's the breakthrough for the Wolves, helping with that res onto Monclover. Swapping it back maybe into their favor, and there goes Monclover taking out Dragon Shadow.
But Echo is still putting up a fight, trading eliminations back and forth. This is one of those long, scrappy fights that can happen in Overwatch 2.
Avian is playing awfully close to where the team fight is happening. They need to back off. One of the things that Ana brings to the table is that range support and damage that they can do. There's no need to be that close to the payload. They have the Nano online. They're choosing to go for a flank here, realizing everyone on their team is down. But that might stagger themselves out like we saw earlier happening to Ethan for the side of the Tsunami.
A whole bunch of ultimates being used. Looks like the nano boosting combination with the visor only really going to take out Toxic right now. Dragon Shadow also able to eliminate King Swiffer. There goes the nano boost out from Wolves, but it's too little too late. First checkpoint in hands of Tsunamis.
Avian is still alive back here. Now the payload's reached that checkpoint. They have no choice but to end, but like we saw earlier, for the Tsunami, being this far back means your team's going to lose almost an entire second fight here before this payload that payload reaches corner, and that's not a situation you want to be in. You want to be able to claim that high ground, get your foothold up there. But Ana you can't stagger yourself that much. It's time to learn how to end faster.
Oh, was trying to time that up with the teleports from the Reaper. But enough pressure was put on him that he wasn't able to get it like he wanted. Copies can go out of the floor and instantly gets taken out by Dark.
Primal Rage gets popped to survive the Graphitic Flux. Big Dream will take out Dark. Dragon Shadow is going to go down. Mercy goes for a res right in front of Dragon Shadow. My apologies, they took out one. It's just interesting choices being made, but it could have been an intentional int. Just don't use res in that situation. We've got Avian back on the high ground. Time to get out of LOS and stay alive.
Just a quick sleep dart shot there. Not going to find anything. Now enough time for it to recharge. And Dark, look out for that Ana there. That's a great start for the Wolves if they want to hold this. They've also swapped over to Ashe.
See how that works out for the Big Dream. She's going to go for that long range damage.
Works out well.
That dynamite also is very deadly. It lands on if it lands on a support, if they don't help each other out, they just get immediately melted. We have Valve getting popped. We hear Echo online is going to get rezzed. Can they make that res worth it? They almost find Mercy, who uses their jump to get out of the way. That Guardian Angel being used as get out is huge, but Monclover with another Death Blossom takes out two before Dragon Shadow has the opportunity to stop him.
So it's for you.
Trying to push damage here. Big Dream with the Mercy pocket. They're actually going to force a full reset from the Tsunamis, which I bet the Wolves don't mind at all. They want as much time off of that clock as possible. Waiting for Dark. This would be the perfect time for just one quick pick from Big Dream here. Throws that dynamite out into the doorway. No one's going to be around it.
Utilizing that new ping system that Overwatch has. You see that Visor Nano gets popped. Mercy tries to keep them alive. Toxic's going to go down. They still have Avian alive, but Avian's health pool gets tanked quite a bit. They have no choice but to heal themselves up for a little bit. Oh, sorry, my apologies. I'm dumb. They heal so long as they're not in line of fire, so they're going to be able to heal up a little bit, but they are getting dove. So let's see if they stay alive off screen. Big Dream 1v1ing Dark. Does find them, and now we see another one go down. Avian taking that rock to the face. Echo online finding the Big Dream.
Oh, that was such a clutch moment on that Ashe. Only had time to reload one bullet into the chamber and used it well. And because he survived, he's putting so much damage. There goes a dynamite. He's not going to quite get the mileage he wanted, but still putting a whole bunch of damage down here onto this Sigma. And they still haven't taken the second checkpoint.
They have not, and they still got to do a whole nother one after that. Thankfully, they get a little bit extra time. Bob's going to get popped. Shadow is going to survive. Unfortunately, Big Dream and Toxic will both go down for the Wolves. Losing two, this might be the end of this fight. Valkyrie has completely cooled off. Bob is going to hop out and go back for resting. Reaper Anti gets taken out. Now it's choice. Do you int? Do you stay alive? Do you try to take another fight? I think not. It's time to get into better positioning for this next point. Monkey, though, jumps in as it swaps over.
But it's not soon enough. The checkpoint was gotten to. But in terms of time, Wolves is just ahead just by a little. So no matter how they go into overtime, they will have the advantage here. But a few one fights here, getting even more time off that timer, they will not want to miss that.
Big Dream going down, making a huge stagger for the Wolves, considering how much damage they're pumping out. Avian has that ult online. Big Dream swapping over to that Sojourn. Let's see how that pays off for them. Dark's going to go down. It is interesting fight here in the corridor into a Winston. managing to stay alive for a little bit. Unfortunately, we will lose Echo online. They're going to get res. Mercy trying to stay alive.
That was way too open.
Got to make sure you're telling your teammates when you're looking for that red so they can protect you. Now you have no opportunity, nothing left to do but to back off and reset.
More time gained for the Wolves, and more importantly for them, a lot of ultimates online here. Tsunamis were going into that last fight with 3 ultimates against none, but now it looks like it's going to be 4 ultimates against 3 in favor of the Wolves.
This boils down to he who ults first wins the fight. In most cases, we hear the Graphitic Flux is going to pick up Avian. They're going to go down. And shortly thereafter, Echo Online will pick up 2 using that attack visor. Oh, Mercy, I don't know what you're doing, but it's a bold move indeed. The bread goes off, but does not find anybody. They're forced to retreat to keep themselves alive. And with that, Monclover will go down to Echo Online as well.
Team Swiffer using Primal Fury, clearing everyone off of the point. Just 1 minute left for Tsunamis to get to the final checkpoint. Echo Online eliminating Toxic. Sleep Dart is going to head on to Team Swiffer. Is he going to manage to get out of there? So much damage being focused onto him. He doesn't escape. Now the Wolves are going to have to fight with a 1-person disadvantage. Oh, that's brutal. What a Sleep Dart. One of the few remaining sources of CC in the game, and it is still to be feared when you have an ultimate.
And it looks like we heard a Mercy Valve get nano boosted. Lucky's gonna go have some fun. Have fun with your battle, Mercy. You got 8 seconds left on that duration, but Monclover's looking to get a tough foot on this payload just to stall for a couple of seconds. If they can manage to get the 17 seconds here, that means that the side of the Tsunamis will only have 1 minute on the clock. Sleep onto Avian. They do survive for a little bit, but they go down, as does Monclover. Wolves losing a lot of power here on this final fight.
Well, but as... Oh, wow, this railgun already managed to take out one that's going to be the only thing they got, but it did the job of getting all the time off of that clock. They're only going to have 1 minute left for overtime. So in terms of a team fight that pretty decisively goes against your way, at least they got all the time off.
That is very true, and 1 minute to 3 minutes and 54 seconds, it's almost the entire length of a map is 4 minutes roughly for someone to push. That's quite the heavy task to have to go against. Tsunamis will be pushing first, so back-to-back pushing. Let's see if they change up how they started in comparison to the last round. I kind of hope they do, but we'll have to wait and see. I've seen a team go the full distance with a minute. We've seen it plenty of times here on Payload, but can they do it? That's the real question.
Ready for battle.
There he goes. We see Dark. He's going to be swapping over to the Cassidy. Big Dream still on Sojourn.
I like the Dark swap into the Cassidy. I mean, especially because how much value Monclover's been getting on that Reaper. It's time to start doing something a little different. I mean, you don't have stun, but that sticky grenade, when you use it the right time, you get one shot in, you throw a sticky, and they're gone. I mean, if Monclover times their Wraith form perfectly, then they'll manage to live. But that also means they've expelled Wraith, so the get-out ability is therefore gone.
We're going to find out how far Tsunamis can get with their 1 minute in overtime.
3, 2, 1.
Any elimination to start things off for the Wolves would be extremely good news for them. Dark already taking a bit of chip damage, down to half health, heals up.
Ooh.
Swiffer very low on health. And just to recover though, that Reaper's trying to get away from dear life there.
Choosing to swap the attention over from that squishy though meant that there was some split damage. Dark did manage to pick up Monclover though. Lucky's gonna go down to the Big Dream with the damage boost from that Mercy. We hear the res start, but immediately gets stopped.
That's great play off the ante there, that railgun just one-shotting Echo. Just any time you can get to stall them out, they're already down to 15 seconds.
Shadow trying to stay alive, goes down to the Big Dream, who also takes out Ethan. Railgun ultimate already online, grabbing that Mega Pack, getting to the high ground. They are now a force to reckon with as they pop that ult.
This one, oh, I can't believe that didn't hit. Manages to connect finally with Echo. And now is able to eliminate Dark. Those are both DPSs gone. Now the Squishies are next, trying to go toward this Ana here. Gets stunned and taken out by Dragon.
There is no time left on the clock. Tsunamis need to constantly have someone at least touching that payload. Dragon Shadow is one of the last few standing, followed by Ethan. They will not be able to stay alive either. Echo Online can't touch fast enough, and with that, the Tsunamis make it to Archway. They can hold there, but they need to make sure they have the right comp to do so and are not overly greedy. It's okay to take, you know, some early fight there on Red Roof and get some poke damage in, but don't fully engage from there. Otherwise, your team's going to go down one, if not more, and holding that corridor is going to be very difficult when you hit Arch.
This was just the kind of stalling that the Wolves needed at that moment to only leave the Tsunamis with 1 minute. That is going to come into huge play there. They only made it to the Archway, and Wolves are going to have about 4 minutes to get there, so very winnable.
Ready for battle.
Still sticking on the Reaper, and we've actually seen the Tsunami swap off the Cassidy. Dark heading back over to Tracer.
It's doable. It is very, very doable. It's just very difficult. You need to have almost 4 perfect fights and engages here for your team to come out on top. It's not. We've seen it before. I have faith that they can do it, but the question is, will they be able to pull it off?
We're going to find out in just a little under 20 seconds right now. Here we go. Doesn't look like there's any last-minute swaps out before we start here.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Wolves only need to get a little over 53 meters to win this. They're going to start pushing immediately. Any sort of ground that's given up here without a close hold by the Tsunamis is very risky.
That Mercy immediately goes down for the Wolves, though. Not something we want to see. Dragon's going to pick up one. Another one will go down as well. Avian in that top spot, immediately having rotated to the high ground, gets peppered down. They have damage coming from 2 directions. Can they keep themselves alive? Most likely not.
One final melee attack, and that's going to eliminate Avian. Now they're going to push again. Trying to knock them off that high ground. So taking some shots. Echo here up on this vantage point. So much damage down there, and an anti-nade is also going to land onto the Wolves, but they are already to this very crucial archway here.
I'm noticing Toxic seems to be using that super jump quite a bit. I understand the changes are really irksome to deal with. You gotta learn to lurk around it. You're putting yourself into a lot of sticky situations and getting down to half health sometimes, more than that. You were taken out early in the last fight. Let's see if you start getting to slightly better high ground positions. Lucky's gonna go down, Dragon's gonna go down, Echo Online goes down. Ethan's, I think, one of the last few standing here. We got Dark and Dragon Shadow coming back soon, but will they survive as a res gets popped?
Sticky Bomb is just going to eliminate the newly res Big Dream, but it still might be enough. It's just 2 meters left, and Dragon Shadow is going to try to push them all off of the point here in those narrow close quarters. Echo also coming in for reinforcement. Almost gets taken out by Monclover, but manages to survive. Now it's going to use this visor, take out Toxic, and that's a reset for the Wolves.
Dragon did a fantastic job there, actually using that ultimate just to make space and knowing they couldn't get off the payload. So hats off to you, my friend. That was perfect. Your team regained a foothold. Payload slowly backing up out of this archway. As I mentioned, you need basically perfect fights. They've had 2, almost 3 perfect fights, but Dragon, unfortunately, I think environmental themselves. So this is going to make this a little bit rough for their team as the Wolves are engaging here with Valk and the Reaper ultimate as Echo Online goes down.
Especially as the archway is going to force everyone in the close quarters. This could be a huge blossom right now. There it goes, and I was down here. It already picks up a double, and that's going to get the victory for the Wolves.
Victory.
All right, so we've seen push, we've seen payload. Next it has to be
Control?
Yeah, I think we're going in reverse order. So control next?
Play of
Maybe.
the game.
Play of the game is actually going to be Ponzo.
Yeah, Dark, let's see what you did. Nice pop onto the Ana there. Get picking up Mercy. And then Mercy going battle. Mercy in your play of the game. Nicely done. You pick up another one on King Swifter. So that was spicy.
All right, just 1 match away before they win this. Or We could see a reverse sweep potentially come out.
I love reverse sweeps.
Those are always nice.
We'll have to wait and see.
And the great part is knowing that if a reverse sweep happens, you know that 2CP cannot come into the mix. So that's the one bad thing about reverse sweeps is gone.
That's true. I feel like 2CP being gone is making everyone happier. But as we mentioned, we think we're going to be seeing King of the Hill here, but we might be seeing something different. Other than King of the Hill, the other option is to go for a full hybrid, in which case I think we'll see Scrims Row. I hope we don't see Scrims Row. I want to see Blizzard World if we go to hybrid, but that's
that
just
would be nice, but we don't see it too often. More often than not, we either see Numbani or I know it's Eichenwald is brought out more often than Blizzard World. It's a very rare treat.
Yes, it's a treat indeed. I just start practicing the maps that no one likes, and then get good on that map so that if you are in this situation, you'd be like, hey, we're going to go Blizzard World, and the other team just goes, you're going what map?
You're going, I haven't played on that. I haven't scrimmed on that.
Exactly.
What do I do?
If it's a hated map, go for it. That's just my opinion, though. I'm just a voice on desk. I don't get to make the big decisions at the end of the day. We'll see what map it is, and it is actually going to be the name of this map. I keep forgetting the name of this map.
2,
Grand Central.
1.
Grand Central.
Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Ooh, we actually have Kingsweaver coming out on the Orisa. I'm excited to see how that works out for them. That Javelin is so deadly. The ultimate's a little weird, but we have Dark finding Toxic Kill almost immediately. Ethan getting very low. The Big Dream's going to connect with them and find that one. So one support down for both sides. We'll see who can maintain foothold here as we hear Dark pop out and grab a hack and take out the Big Dream.
A lot of fighting happening off screen, but it's enough for the Wolves to be pushed back to start.
Damn it.
Monclover is going to get hacked there. Doesn't look like it's going to be too much problem for him, though. He is still surviving. Back Dark still trying to find the right sort of flank here.
Avian goes down to Dragon Shadow. Lucio's going to engage onto the Big Dream. This might be a mistake because they get very, very low. The Big Dream also had Toxic Kill supporting them. Dark's going to find the Big Dream, though. Lucky's gone down to Monclover. Dark is 50% on that ultimate, but the next ult that's going to come online is probably going to be Echo online or Monclover from that Soldier. Have to wait and see. Orisa is now battling out for control here on this point. Unfortunately, they will go down.
There goes the Moira as well. That's probably the final one they needed. Gonna get at least one more tick here. I don't think anyone else can actually touch. No, they can't. That's gonna be the point taken.
Toxic, do me a solid, swap over to the Mercy so I can finally use the three-piece combo tagline, please.
Doesn't look like that wish is gonna be fulfilled.
No, I can only wish and dream. Just like last week, wishing to see push and just crying about
that wish came true, so
Yes.
there's still a chance.
There is, but I doubt it'll be this time around. We got the Big Dream immediately sliding back. Final from Dragon Shadow's gonna get popped. They're gonna find quite a bit of damage. Can't quite connect with the Soldier fast enough. They do eventually pick them up. Can they find another one? I don't think so. That's okay though. Maintaining spacing here is very important as we see Lucky go down.
Big Dream with that railgun. Was that one shot that took out Lucky? Dark also has this EMP. It's not going to be enough unless there is some sort of follow-up to it. Might be able to combo it with the Genji Blade that's now online. We'll have to see.
We hear it go off.
Only 2.
Dragon's gonna unfortunately go down to the Big Dream's railgun. Monclover does have their ult online as well. Echo online, looking for an opportunity. This Genji Blade might have the chance to do it here pretty soon. Backing off of that payload, though, the Wolves are choosing to do a soft reset.
Which they generally have the time to do. They don't want to waste too much here. There goes the Genji Blade out from Echo, taking a lot of damage off the bat, but managing to almost pull through there, but still gets taken out by Kingsweaver. But it's going to be Dragon with the double there. Kingsweaver fighting back. It's been the tanks both getting doubles, wiping the other teams out. Still enough for the Wolves to gain a little bit of push on the payload.
We have Lucky get hacked, forced to retreat back just a little bit. Sorry, Kingsweaver actually was the one to get hacked. They retreat, they take a lot of damage, but they're gonna stay alive. Lucky and Ethan both have their ults online, whereas Toxic, Monclover, and King all have ults. So it's 3 into 2. Let's see who comes out on top as Nano gets popped for this Winston. And it might actually allow Dragon to get their ult online as well as they pick up King Swiffer.
Monclover's next on the list, staying down to half health, unable to escape there. And I actually heard the visor being used also by Echo, it looks like.
You're falling apart.
Overall, one final charge here, trying to get back onto the point. Almost gets hacked by Dark.
King drops the shatter, Big Dream goes down, Echo goes down, Lucky goes down. Visor's being popped, but not finding anyone just yet.
Picks up a triple with that Coalescence. Toxic, forcing a full reset for the Wolves.
Still have 2 minutes on the clock. Roughly 2 team fights if they get in and get out cleanly. If they don't get off the first one, we'll have to wait and see though. Avian looking to try and get a little bit extra damage in here. Has an opportunity to find their ultimate before the full fight starts. Can they do it? I hope so. We've got 2 ults online for the Wolves though, and those are big fight-changing ultimates, and also Dark very close to that EMP blast.
There's the EMP blast available for Dark. It gets 4 of them. Now will there be the follow-up to make full advantage of it? Doesn't quite look like it. They managed to survive through that EMP. So now Wolves are going to have to reset again for just one more fight.
I think Lucky dropped that Lucio B either right as Echo was about to die or after they had already had the confirmation of Echo's death. I think at that point you should have just hung on to it and waited. Got King pushing forward now, not choosing to stay on the high ground, instead forcing back the enemy team so they can't have the opportunity to get there. But now they're split for their team. Is that going to be rough for their front line? It might be, but Dragon's taking their time to push forward. So King has the opportunity to get in position with their teammates. As Big Dream finds Echo online. We're dropping down to last fight territory.
Wolves should have the advantage here in terms of all ultimates. Nothing really close with Tsunamis. Maybe that visor, but if they can take him out immediately, it's not going to come into play. Here they go. He took a lot of damage here. Now he's going to go back on Nano boosted too. Uses the Primal Rage and is able to take out Avian. Question is, where will Monclover be able? Big Dream, as soon as they get their ultimate, is eliminated.
And unfortunately, Monclover's going to go down as well. Toxic kill goes down. Payload did get pushed back far enough, though. Do not foresee this being an opportunity for a retake coming out from the Tsunamis. Big Dream's going to drop the Bassi ult all over the Payload to force them off, give them a couple extra seconds, but it's not enough time. Payload hits that checkpoint. We did see Soldier push forward, and unfortunately, thinking they could touch the Payload and stall it, they will go down as will Toxic.
Ooh, this Lucio's way in the back line. It's going to be able to take out Big Dream. Now King Swiffer is all alone and has to charge away.
Avian goes down. We've got Lucky and Ethan, both with their ults very close. Echo online has that Soldier ult, taking the elevator, going to the high ground. Are they going to pop it to try and get a nice flank here for their team? They're going to 1v1 the other Soldier. Who's going to win, Echo online or Monclover? And it looks like a retreat from both of them is going to be in the cards, but Monclover is going to lose eventually.
Actually, it was
60 seconds remaining.
Toxic now taking a lot of damage, but that Genji's going to get right in the face of that Soldier and take him out. Both teams still fighting on the payload. They've gotten about halfway to the final finish line here. 45 seconds. Looking for this EMP. It's the right moment. It needs to be followed up though. It's a good EMP. Now where's the follow-up from Wolves? There it is. Dragon Shadow and Lucky taking out King Swiffer and Toxic. They're pushing that payload forward even more now.
Unfortunately, Dark stayed a little bit too long.
Overall, the teammates kind of bailing him out with 2 more eliminations. There goes the charge in from King Swiffer. So many ultimates available from the Wolves, plus the Nano Boost Visor combination. Trying to aim around that shield, and it's successful. That Shatter's just too late. He is Nano Boosted, though. He is able to take out one, but now he is getting focused down very quick. Gets hit with the sleep dart, and that's it for him.
Found 2 in that Nano, however, so that worked out for their team. Now we've got Primal Rage getting popped. Genji's deflect is down, dash is down. They're taken out by Ethan. Toxic coming forward, immediately dropping a damage orb as opposed to the healing orb. Might have been the unfortunate reason why their teammate of Monclover went down too fast. Now we've got King Swiffer going for the spin to win strategy. Can they stay alive? We'll have to wait and see. If they get slept, they are done for. Instead, they get hacked and they get deleted.
complete.
different ways to take that mobility. And overall, the Wolves managed to get the 3 points they were looking for.
0 to 3. Switching sides.
And they had a little over 90 seconds. I believe it was 96 in total left on the clock. We're going to see this final fight as it began. King Swiffer's going to go down. That Soldier ultimate being so deadly. And then they'll follow it up with it, the Primal Rage. Genji uses both abilities, trying to stay alive a little bit longer, but they underestimated Ethan being in the corner. And there it is, what I was talking about, using the damage orb as opposed to the healing orb. Using your kit properly is very important, especially when trying to stall in. If you're stalling, honestly, you should be healing.
Now, if previous performances anything to measure here, the Tsunamis were slightly
Ready
slower
for
than the
battle.
Wolves, actually much slower than the Wolves on Dorado in terms of how far they pushed. So will that slight speed differential make the Wolves overall have a victory? It might mean that the
Attackers
Wolves are just able to
incoming
hold
in
them
30
outright this time.
seconds.
We'll have to see. Positioning is key here on this first point. Lots of people like to take that first fight inside train and back off. We did see that coming out from the Tsunamis, but they did lose quite a few people. They had a couple of fights here. I think it was 2.5, but they were ultimately pushed back. We've got Ethan over here right outside the entrance, looking like they're trying to talk to their teammates. They're definitely someone to listen to if you're on that squad. But them and Lucky, our new returner, have been quite the initiators on making sure everyone's heads are in the game, to quote an old musical from high school. And now we are going to jump into this game with 4 minutes on the clock.
Oh my goodness. Right. Just waiting for the fight to come to them, and here we go. The Genji's going to charge in, followed up by the Winston. Trying to put as much damage as they can out with that Tesla cannon, past all the shields, but a very sneaky take here is going to be attempted there by the Echo, but gets mowed down there by that Ana. It looks like that's going to be a hold nonetheless for the Wolves. Clover trying to race back onto that point, and actually work with the help of King Swiffer, but now once he gets taken out, King Swiffer is focused down, and now 1 minute is gone for the Tsunamis.
3 fights left. They gotta start getting these resets faster. I feel like that was the undoing for the Tsunamis, is not understanding when to full reset, when to partial, and what that reset entails. It does not mean just backing up. It means using natural cover. Do not try to poke damage. You're just charging their ults more than you're charging your own and putting yourself at risk.
Look at this flank being brought out by Dark. He's trying to find a choice. Squishy. Looks like he's going to settle on the Echo, but the Rhine turns around. He has to teleport away.
We see Lucky go down. EMP is online. Gets used immediately, but Dark also goes down right away. Toxic's going to go down. The Big Dream finds 2. They go down as well. Pretty even as far as the manpower front goes. Wolves still hanging on.
That's a very great bailout by the teammates there, because that EMP would have been worthless if it hadn't been for Echo and Dragon. Now they're going to have their ultimates being brought online now. The only thing they have to keep in mind is this Shatter that King Swiffer is also going to have. That positioning is going to be crucial.
The Big Dream might have the opportunity to get that copy as well. They're at 86%. If this is a slow engage, that could work out for them. They get hacked. They're going to...
Adaptive circuits engaged. Winston.
Did eventually go down. Ethan has that nano boost online. Are they going to get their time to use it? Does not look like they will. Nope, they will. Barely keeping someone alive in the process.
Question is it enough? King Swiffer still has this Shatter, so anyone kind of rushing into this point at the last moment could just be stopped via the Shatter. Genji Blade is available, but he's not quite going to use it. Oh, with that sound barrier, though, he sure is. He's trying to find this Mercy or the Echo, but they just fly around him.
Clover, though, has the Death Blossom. Are we going to see a big Blossom come out for them yet again? Lucky's going to go down to the Big Dream. Mercy and Echo still here on this point. King Swiffer doing some swinging damage. Finds one. Finds Dark. Now with that, I do think the Tsunamis might have this point on lock. It's time to pick your location to find the next fight, Wolves.
Overall, it took a very long time, though, for them to take that. So they're going to have less time than the Wolves did to get to the second checkpoint.
Objective
Only
lost.
3 minutes.
Enemy lost.
Stop the payload.
Dusting off.
Starts out Big Dream. Is able to take out Lucky. Tsunamis finding themselves 1 up, now 2 as Big Dream gets his double. With this Mercy pocket, it's quite a force to be reckoned with.
Tsunami is looking at 3 ultimates, almost 4 if their Mercy gets theirs in time. Dark and Dragon are going to be the only 2 with ults online for this next engage. We see Lucky go down. We hear Dark pop that EMP blast. It will be followed up on Avian gets taken out. So far it's been worth it as we hear the copy go out onto the Ana.
See if the Nano Boost can be used. Very low on health. Gets taken out of the copy though. Dark trying to find the right target. The Mercy or the Echo. It's hard to choose. He needs to take out that Mercy though. Charge in from King's River back onto the payload. They have gotten quite a push from it there. Wolves doesn't seem like they've been able to find any footing so far.
Here Dark goes down. Winston is boosted, but they get shattered and looks like some awkward tossing around happening. Monclover picks up 2. Toxic's gonna go down. Right now the Wolves are hurting on that manpower front. Monclover finds Dragon too, so it's just Dark and Lucky. Will they survive? They will not be able to reach the payload. Lucky might get out, but they're getting chased. It's time to turn around and just run.
Wow, and with a very impressive push there, they are now ahead of the Wolves overall in time.
Almost 3 minutes on the clock. Still, this is a difficult corridor to push.
That was just fell apart. I don't know if I even saw 1 elimination from the Wolves in that second spot.
Big Dream, though, going to go down to Ethanator. Did not expect a swap over to the Baptiste. That could be the deciding factor here. Bap can be very strong if used properly, but got to make sure you keep yourself alive in the process.
Pushing the damage onto King Swifter's shield there. Monclover has built up this Death Blossom. Now looking in, that's a huge ante onto the Wolves. He tries to take advantage of it, and is able to take out Dragon Shadow. That Immor field is able to bail out the Wolves somewhat, but man, they just haven't gotten anything.
Payload's starting to be pushed now as they're trying to find Dark. They translocate out, but your tail does reveal where you go. I think this might be it for Dark. They're going to push back Big Dream, but Big Dream swings back harder. Down 1, the Wolves have a chance, but they've got to be careful on this engage since they are lacking the manpower now.
ET Wolves are in that position where they do temporarily have that ultimate advantage. Gonna charge up that visor though. There is that shatter. There goes the EMP. Is going to be able to take out the Tsunamis, followed by the shatter by Dragon. They are able to take out Avian, but the visor is too powerful for the Wolves to defend against.
Wolves right now are looking to knock off 1 minute and 19 seconds on the clock, but I don't think they're going to be able to.
Wow.
And with that, the Tsunamis heavy-handedly win this win this half of the round for themselves with 1 minute and I think almost 30 seconds left on that clock. Yeah, 1:16. So nicely done. Now it is...
I mean, once they got the payload, nothing stopped them.
It's get a tick, and that's all they need now to win out this match. Wolves have a heavy task ahead of them, but they definitely held out quite strong initially on this first point. Let's see if they can do it again.
Yeah, this definitely seems like it is the strongest part of this stage for the Wolves.
At this point, the Wolves are hoping for a draw. Can they get that draw, or will the Tsunamis win? Minute and 16, especially with how long the spawn is from that first checkpoint, I could foresee this being a draw.
Yeah, it probably will be our favorite.
That is one drawn-out fight. It's basically what the Wolves are looking to do, or, you know, kill them quickly and push forward to make sure they can't gain space to even get near the checkpoint. We'll have to wait and see, though.
Matt, what do you think just fell apart for the Wolves there? Because it was just like day and night there with how they performed.
I noticed a couple of things. I feel like it was not capitalizing on opportunities that were created. I mean, there was a huge ante that was dropped at one point that went forward that wasn't capitalized on from the Wolves there. Monclover had their Death Blossom in the process too, and Avian's ante dropped. They didn't use it.
Oh wait, have we had this backwards the whole time?
Defend objective A.
Are the Wolves actually in blue? It wouldn't be the first time this has happened.
We'll get clarification from production. If we've been saying it backwards, apologies to everyone involved, but we'll have to wait and see either way. Okay, yes, it was backwards. So the Wolves have been the ones that have been struggling a
Okay,
little bit.
so yeah, okay. So the Wolves, no, they're the ones who haven't been struggling. It's been the Tsunamis that's struggling. Okay.
Ethanator's gonna go down. That Zenyatta kick does a little bit, but it can't save you from a charge down one way, so to speak. And we also have Dragon go down. The res is gonna immediately get popped from Lucky. They managed to survive, but they gotta get on this point. Defenders need to touch. If they don't, that's
There you go.
it.
All right, so we were thinking it's a draw. Actually, the Wolves close it out 3-0.
Yes, this is the only map they were backwards on. We just didn't notice. Apologies.
I was really thinking we were heading for
Play
draw
of the
territory, and my soul was almost being crushed. There we go. That's going to be the final play there here by Echo. This is just a great play here on the copy. Kind of negated the Tsunami's full suite of ultimates. That Nano Boost and Shatter combination was just mowed down. And there go the Wolves. Congratulations to them. They've won 3-0.
Ooh, that's a pretty picture. I like that. Nice assets.
Yeah.
Well, if you want the opportunity to be seen by some expert college recruiters, talk directly to esports industry insiders like pro athletes, team general managers, and game producers, then you need to join the club. Esports Tower players get insider access to industry insights, and with our featured rumbles, recruiters are taking notice as well. It's a great way to score exposure if you're looking to start your path to pro or land one of those sweet, sweet scholarships we talked about earlier.
So now we get the chance to predict the player of the game. Do you have any nominees? I know you write them down.
I do. So Mavesy is one of them. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Send me a pronunciation guide if I'm saying it wrong and butchering it too much.
But it's like Doc says, if you need to explain it, it's the wrong gamer tag.
Okay. All right. Well.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay,
I have
so
backup.
I'm saying it wrong. Please send me how to pronounce it. And then the other one's going to be Echo Online. Those are my two suggestions here. What about you?
I think Echo Online is probably the safe choice. You could also probably find a player here or there for Dark or any of the DPSs, honestly. You're just going to have to see. Some of the supports were also
the buff
pretty
that
terrifying as well.
Oh my gosh, this is we're completely wrong. No, it is Mavesy going in for that Genji. It's going to be our ICCU player of the game, which is brought to you by the Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central is helping members achieve financial success. Mavesy is the Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. Congratulations.
Oh, especially on this Pharah. And uncontested, too, as the Riptides just didn't really change anything to hit scan here to uncontest the Pharah. Actually,
that was Lyric on the Pharah.
Oh, Lyric on the Pharah, who also did a good job.
All right.
I'm a little tired.
It's okay. I totally understand. Even if we're on summer vacation, we're not on summer vacation. We never sleep.
And they were great start out by Joe to start things out, but it's not going to be enough for Mavesy. And this was the big play we were talking about, canceling out both the Visor and the other Genji Blade. That's just the ultimate value play.
And as we prepare to close out this map, do you have any, Match, do you have any big takeaways? I mean, this is our last opportunity to cast Overwatch 2.
I'm going to miss Push.
Yeah, I'm going to miss Push as well. I'm excited for it to actually be brought into the game, but it's going to be a while.
I hope Beta 2 comes out soon.
The issue is, will we get access to Beta 2? I know that a couple of our esports players here from the Broncos will get access because they made it to the top 32 in OD. Perhaps some of these players from Esports Tower will get early access as well if they're playing for OD teams, but we'll just have to wait and see. But overall, congratulations to all of our teams on a very excellent Week 6 Spring Overwatch Rumble. The Tornadoes and Wolves claim the top spots for this week in our grand finals for Overwatch 2 Beta. Goodbye, Overwatch 2 Beta. You'll forever be in our hearts until the game finally drops, or we get beta access again. We head back to Overwatch 1 next week for our Rumble, and it should be exciting to see how teams play, reversing back to the 6v6. Make sure to tune in next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time so you can never miss a moment of the Overwatch Rumbles. We'll close out today with our top 5 plays of the game presented by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time with more than 10 jobs, offering $20,000 in bonuses and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is the best team out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuardGaming. Have a lovely day, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Stay safe and stay healthy.
to escape that one. But now they have just 10 seconds left. Just one final desperate fight over this robot. They might start it off with this Death Blossom heading into the backline. It's huge. It takes out Genji and Baptiste as well. Now heading after this, Lucio takes him out as well. A full team wipe for the
Not giving up any inch of space for the Riptides to claim here, pushing them all the way back towards their spawn yet again. Rotating here onto the bridge. They go for Joe. Great shatter, but we do see there's an inboard. Does not last long. We have Reaper pick up 2, Joe pick up 1, quad kill gets dropped, and now
Coalescence and a Death Blossom are available for this fight, as well will be the Amp Matrix by Ethan. So Konami should have a slight ult advantage. And the ult for the Wolves is going to be used as met with the Death Blossom right into the face of that Moira.
and Dark will pick up 3, and we have Ethan finding him on close.
None, but now it looks like it's going to be 4 ultimates against 3 in favor of the Wolves.
This boils down to he who ults first wins the fight. In most cases, we hear the Prophetic Flux is going to pick up Avian. They're going to go down. And shortly thereafter, Echo Online will pick up 2 using that attack visor. Oh, Mercy, I don't know what you're doing, but it's a...
Oh, that's brutal. What a sleep dart. One of the few remaining sources of CC in the game, and it is still to be feared we have an ultimate.
And it looks like we heard a Mercy Valve